Okay, hello everybody. Sorry for the late start. I was having technical problems on my end. I apologize for that. Hello everyone. Apologize for the late start. I was having technical issues on my end. Note that for me, Angie. So the others, when they come in, they'll know just technical difficulties. It was all on my part, but we're ready to go now. All right. Starting late due to technical difficulties on my part. Took me a while to figure out what was wrong. All right, so here we go. Hopefully we'll get some others to join us. Let's just give them another minute. Again, I do understand if those of you will have to go a little early, then I completely understand it. Okay. Well, let's get started with tonight's Bible study. Welcome to tonight's Bible study. It is a basic read through the Bible where we will read and share some commentary with you. It's commentary of my own. Therefore, there are no copyright issues. Again, we're going to look tonight at Luke 15th chapter, verse 11 through 20. Luke 15, verse 11 through 20 is what we will look at tonight. All right. Luke 15, verse 11 through 20. Our topic tonight, okay. Our topic tonight is perspective rectifying faith. Perspective rectifying faith. Okay, is what we're going to talk about tonight. And we're going to look again at Luke 15, verse 11 through 20. Perspective rectifying faith. Now, the key rectifying is important. Some might want to use the word shift, and you can use it if you wish. If you were writing a lesson, you might say that. But when I talk about rectifying, it is a correcting, all right? And it's not just a casual correcting, but it is an on-purpose correcting. So it's correcting with purpose, okay? So when we talk perspective rectifying faith, we're talking about that faith that corrects our perspective on purpose. We recognize that there's something and we correct it on purpose. We don't wait on it, we recognize it and we correct it. You got it? And so that's what we're going to look at tonight. So let's get started with reading this particular lesson. We're going to look at starting at verse 11. Ready? Here we go. Jesus continued. There was a man who had two sons. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me the share of the estate." So he divided properly between them. Okay, between his sons. Now notice here, occasionally the historical view on this and the well-written in commentary over and over again that everybody repeats is that, boy, this was a problem. Well, you could take a different perspective. There's no indication it was a problem. The son simply asked for his share, okay? And the father gave it to him. It could have been perfectly okay with the father, not because it was a bad son. I don't believe you're a bad person, but here's what happened. Sometimes we all get a little restless. You get it? And sometimes when we get restless, we ask for things that we are not ready to handle. Some people were restless and they got married. You were not ready to handle it. Some people were restless and you bought homes. You were not ready to handle it. Some of you were restless and you got credit cards. Instead of waiting till you could pay for it, you got credit cards and you were not ready to handle it. You're not a bad person. But that was the system of the time. The system says, well, if I can't afford it, I go in debt to get it. We get restless. But here's something you need to understand something, okay? Restlessness will get the best of you sometime. That's why you need perspective ratifying faith, because restlessness will get the best of you. And what perspective ratifying faith does, it puts restlessness in check. It's time for someone to put their restlessness in check. You get it? So be aware of that. This doesn't mean this kid was a bad person. Everybody like to paint him as a bad person. It's no different than your children say, "May I drive your car?" You get it? May I have another cell phone, an iPad? Okay? They couldn't wait till they got old enough to buy their own, so they asked you for it. You get it? Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just that sometimes you're not careful, restless will get the best of you. So here it is. So not long after, the young son got together all that he had stuff. His blessing was still good as long as he was there with the father. And he set off in faraway country and he squandered his wealth on on wild living. Wild living will do that to you. Eating too much food will do that to you. Uh-oh, I sneaked that one in, didn't I? You see? Sometimes you don't need dessert. You don't need dessert after every meal. Okay? But we get restless for that taste of that sugar. Okay? You get it? And we squander our body on riotous eating. I'm sorry. You get it? After he had spent everything he had, okay, there was famine in the whole country and he began to be in need. After he bought everything he could think of buying that he didn't need, but he did it because he wanted, he found himself in too much debt and couldn't live the lifestyle he wanted to live. But perspective ratifying faith will put discipline in your life. Perspective ratifying faith will allow you to have more discipline in your actions in your life. And that's what it's about. That's why it's time for us to find it. Somebody says it's time for me to find it. It will allow you to have the discipline you need. So he went and hired himself to the citizens of that country, and he went on and he fed the pigs. He did work he wasn't used to. He had to do things that he wasn't accustomed to. He had to live a lifestyle that he couldn't handle. And sometimes that happens to us. Sometimes we take on some responsibility too soon for us to handle, and we have to adjust our lifestyle to that responsibility instead of allowing time to show us the best path. All right? But that's part of life. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. Here's something you need to recognize. People don't necessarily owe you something because you find yourself in a hard time or in trouble. And even if it's not your fault, even if it was a legitimate thing that occurred to you, people don't necessarily owe you anything. You get it? So be aware of that. Here's a point. Perspective rectifying faith will put a spirit in you that says, I'll take care of myself based upon the provisions of God. I'll take care of myself based upon the provisions of God. You get it? Don't allow yourself to be so restless that you drift into situations that you are not ready for, you can't handle. Now, I want to put this again in perspective. Some of us are trying to look for all those bad people around us and trying to point at them. But we have diabetes not because we ate right, but because we didn't eat right. You follow? Some of us have health problems now because we didn't do the right thing. This isn't just about this kid with his money. There are other areas of our lives where our faith needs to put us into check so we can check ourselves. All right? All right, ready? Watch this. Okay, but let's see, where am I? Verse 17, when he came to his sense, somebody say it's time to come to your senses. It's time to come to your senses. He said, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare? And here I am starving to death. Here I am, I left my best blessings for something that I wasn't prepared for. I was set out and go back to my father and say to my father, I sinned against heaven and against you. I dishonored you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me one of your hired servants. So he got up and he went to his father. You need to recognize every now and then when you have that aha moment, you need to take action. Someone say take action. When you realize you've been screaming at your spouse too many times, take action and give them a big hug. Back off. You get it? When you realize that the reason you don't have employment is because you simply haven't filled out the application, or you come to work at 9 when work starts at 7:15, get the aha moment, catch a perspective, take action. You take action. If you want that promotion, take action. Okay, but while he was still away off, his father saw him and fell and had compassion on him, and he ran and threw his arms around him and kissed him. You need to understand, those who love you will always love you. Those who care about you will always care about you. If they really love you the first time, they'll love you through your flaws. It's time for you to learn how to love people through their flaws. And perspective rectifying faith will help you to get that, to realize that somebody loved you through your flaws. And guess what? You can love somebody else through their flaws. It takes perspective rectifying faith. In other words, correcting our sight to realize that but for the grace of God, there go I. Any one of us could be in a medical condition like some others we know around us, but for the grace of God, there go I. It's not that we were better. It's just that in many instances, okay, favor somehow came to see us. It's the grace of God. All right, so you got that? So now, we're talking about perspective, rectifying faith. All right? It's that faith that saves. Your blessings don't define you, you define your blessings. You get it? Perspective, rectifying faith say the blessings don't define you, you define your blessings. The vehicle doesn't define you, you define the vehicle. Having more than you can afford doesn't define you, you define it. Living a lifestyle outside the morals of God doesn't define you. You define the morals based on the principles of God. You get it? That's what it does for you. Perspective rectifying faith, all right, is that faith that lets you know that the compassion of God wants to bless you. The compassion of God wants to bless you. Somebody hashtag, bless me now, Lord. Bless me now, Lord. He wants to bless you. You need to see yourself as not being so bad that you can't be blessed. You need to see yourself as not having made a mistake so bad that it cannot be turned around. Just change your perspective and watch it turn around. Okay? Now with that, let me give you 5 principles that we've learned from this set of scripture reading. 5 principles that I want to leave you tonight that we've learned from this set of scripture. Talking about again, perspective, rectifying faith. Okay, ready? Number 1. Principle number 1, having stuff won't hurt you as long as the stuff doesn't have you. Having stuff won't hurt you as long as the stuff doesn't have you. In other words, you get it? In other words, there's nothing wrong with wanting what's yours as long as you don't identify it yourself by it. Okay? There's nothing wrong with having stuff. What's yours? It belongs to you, it belongs to you. That's your vehicle, that's your car, that's your body, it's the temple of the Lord. That's yours as long as it doesn't identify you. All right? Okay? And particularly as long as you don't lose your identity in it. And particularly as long as you don't lose your identity in it. Never lose your identity in your career, in your job, in the things you do, in the people you're around, the places you go, the things you can afford. Never lose your identity in that. Your blessings are bigger than the stuff. Your blessings are bigger than the stuff. All right, number 2, ready? This is important. The location, the region, the area, the location of your blessing is often important to your ability to keep it. The location of your blessing is often important to the identity of the ability to keep it. In other words, where your blessing is located many times will be what protects your blessing. That's what happened to this young man. He took his blessing outside the realm of his protection, outside the realm of favor. Don't take your blessing outside the realm of God's favor on your life. If favor on your life is because you go see grandma every Sunday at 2:00, then go see grandma every Sunday at 2:00. Don't let basketball or football get in your way. You get it? It's associated with it. Know the areas and the locations that bless you. If going home to see mama every Christmas brings a blessing to your life, then get you an airplane ticket and get ready to go, baby. All right? In other words, not all areas favor your blessings. Not all areas favor your blessings. Not all areas favor your spirit. Not all areas favor your sustainability. Not all areas support your success. And you need to know that tonight. But perspective rectifying faith will help you come to grips with that and push you toward recovery. Number 3, principle number 3. Ready? Watch out. Here we go. When it goes bad, it often goes worse. When it goes bad, it often goes worse. In other words, you will land on the bottom if you step outside your blessings. If you step outside your blessing, you will land on the bottom. If your ID goes outside of that which God has stamped in your life, look out, bottom's on his way. Okay? So be aware of that. Number 4, grab the fleeting moment of your good sense and hope. Somewhere you got to learn to grab that fleeting moment of your good sense and hope. You know what I'm talking about. Ask some of these people online here. They were about to do something downright dumb and stupid. And their good sense caught them and said, I don't think I'll do that just yet. You get it? Perspective rectifying faith kept them out. Okay? Perspective rectifying faith has kept a lot of marriages. Okay? Because if God didn't get to that, some of the men would have hoped God got to them before their wife did. I won't go there. You get it? But that man had a perspective that I could do this and I might be able to get away with it tonight. But I have a life in front of me. And that life in front of me will not carry the same blessing as it did before. You get it? So in other words, grab that fleeting moment of your good sense, then move in the direction of your snap out of it. Somebody hashtag snap out of it. Hashtag snap out of it. When that good sense comes to you, you need to shake it off and move in the direction of your good sense. You're snapped out of it. Okay? That's number 4. And number 5. Get to the place where you can feel safe, even though you failed, so that you can believe that a recovery is possible. Get to the place, all right, where you can feel safe, even though you failed, you stumbled, you made a mistake, you didn't get it right. But get there so that you can believe that recovery is possible. Some of you have people in your lives, when things are going bad, you know, if you talk to them, everything feels all right. When you go to some people, you tell them, I just made a mistake. They say, I knew you were going to do it. I was waiting on it to happen. I saw it coming. And then most of them start trying to be a prophet or a prophet lie. Talk, ooh, the Lord showed it to me and everything and et cetera, et cetera. Go to someone who's going to help see and still believe that it's possible for you to have a turnaround. That's where you get to. Get to that place where someone can believe in you and help you get your turnaround. That's what this prodigal son did. He had tried everybody else. He said, but you know, my dad always believed in me. He believed in me so much, he gave me what I asked for. He believed in me so much, he gave me the freedom to walk out the door. He believed in me so much, he didn't even send his hired hands to come and grab me and drag my foolishness back. He believed in me so much because he knew that God still could make things possible. That's what you're looking for. All right? And that's what perspective rectifying faith would do. It will help you start to see and believe that God can still make things possible for you. Listen, I don't make light of the fact that some of you may have gone through some really bad situations. You didn't, no fault of your own. Just life came to see you. I make no light of that. But even in those situations, God can still make something possible. I know it's not your fault what happened to you. I believe it. I know it was tragic. But God can still make something possible. I know it's been hard for you to accept your current circumstance. But God can still make something possible for you. Find someone to help believe with you, not throw dirt on top of you. All right? All right. So with that, let me give with a definition of what perspective rectifying faith is. You ready? I'm going to give you a definition. Perspective rectifying faith is faith that says, despite your struggles, God has a dose of favor awaiting you when you recognize that your blessing didn't lose you, you lost it. Let me say that again. Perspective rectifying faith is faith that says that despite your struggles, God has a dose of favor awaiting you when you recognize that your blessing didn't lose you, you lost sight of your blessing. So that's why God's going to change your perspective. He's going to correct it on purpose, and you're going to facilitate it through your spirit, right? In other words, perspective rectifying faith helps you to keep the source of your blessings in plain view. Perspective rectifying faith helps you to keep the source of your blessings in plain view. You never lose sight of Big Mama in your life. Cousin so-and-so, perhaps it's your pastor. Maybe it's just a little slow girl at the Walmart, but something helps keep your blessings in view. I need you to look around your house tonight. Look around and say, I'm blessed. Look around and say it again, I'm blessed. And when you walk in your shower, I want you to say tonight, I'm blessed. And when you get up tomorrow and you turn your key on your vehicle, I want you to say, I'm blessed. And when you drive down that road to your job, okay, you said, I'm only making 5, 7, whatever the minimum wage is today in the US. I'm only making $8 an hour, whatever it is. I want you to look at that $8 an hour job and I'll say, I'm blessed. Okay? Helps keep the source of your blessings in check. Okay? You see, the point here is this. Your identity is not as lost as it looks. Your identity is not as lost as it looks. It looks lost, but it's not as lost as it looks. But it needs you to want it back. It needs you to want it back. Somebody will say, I want you back. Tell your identity, I want you back. Your joy, say, I want you back. Your healthy body, say, I want you back. Your relationship, say, I want you back. Your finance, say, I want you back. That's what it takes. You have to confess it. You have to decree it. Somebody say, I decree it. I want you back. All right? So how are you going to set your spirit to get this back? How are you going to set your mindset to be ready for what God is going to do in your life? 3 principles, 3 ways. 3 ways to think about it. All right? Here we go. Here's what you have to do. Number 1, admit you're not who you could be or should be. Now, watch this. Admit, but don't beat up on yourself. Admit who you are, admit that you're not who you could be or should be. But that doesn't mean you beat up on yourself. You get it? You look in the mirror and say, Lord, it's time for it to be rectified. Each time you struggle, say, it's time for it to be rectified. That's not a beating up. That's a decree. You decree it, not beat it up. All right? So somebody ought to hashtag and say, who am I right now? And you answer that tonight. Who am I right now? And if who you are is not who you believe you could or should be, then say, Lord, rectify it. Don't beat up. Just say, Lord, rectify it. Number 2, recognize that recognize that your mess ups are no reason not to expect or hope for a get up. Recognize that your mess ups are no reason not to expect or hope for a get up. You should always hope for a better day, hope for a get up. Here's how you know you hope for a get up. When you mess up, you get up, you shake it off, say, oops, next step, I expect my blessing. I missed that. Oops, I expect my blessing on the next one. All right. And number 3, here you go. Don't be too big that you neglect to say, I'm sorry to those who will be in your corner. Don't be too big that you neglect to say, I'm sorry to those who will be in your corner. And watch this. There's a difference in being sorry for something and being pitiful about something. People with a spirit that believe in forgiveness will go and say, you know what? They'll be smiling at the same time. You know what? I just messed up. But praise God, I realize it. And I'm sorry I did it. Instead of falling all apart and pity party. Somebody hashtag, it ain't the pity party. Hashtag, it ain't the pity party. This young man said, I'm going to get up. I'm going to walk straight to my dad and say, Dad, I blew it. Can I come back home now? You get it? That's how you got to be. Can I get another chance now? You get it? That's what it's about. Not the pity party. It is the decree. All right? So you see your blessing, okay? All right? It's only as good as your respect for yourself. Your blessing is only as good as your respect for yourself. You got to respect yourself to expect that you can be better. That you fell down in the dumps, but you're not staying there. You hit hard time, but you're not going to pity over it. It didn't work out, but you're not going to stay there. So what? You didn't make as much money as you thought you would. I'm going to live with what I have, though. I'm not going to roll over and die. I'm not going to stop living. I'm going to find a way to live. Somebody hashtag, I'm finding a way to live. I know it's long, right? So your blessing is only good as your respect for yourself. Here's a question I want to ask you tonight. Who did God make you to be? Who did God make you to be? We're talking tonight about perspective, rectifying faith. That faith that says your blessings don't define you, but you define the blessings. You put the blessings in perspective. They don't put you in perspective. You hold the blessings. They don't hold you. You administer the blessings. They don't administer you. That's your perspective. Right? Because perspective rectifying faith says that your blessings are deposits, not disposables. Let me say that again. Perspective rectifying faith says that your blessings are deposits, not disposables. Stop treating the blessings in your life like they are disposables. Stop treating the people who matter to you like they're disposables. Stop treating the items that God blessed you to take care of like they're disposables. They are deposits to be cared for in a manner, with a manner of respect that says, I believe God is the reason for them. So there you have it. Perspective rectifying faith. That faith that lets you believe that God is still in your corner. So when you realize that your life is not what you believe it should be, take on a spirit of perspective rectifying faith and return to God's loving arms, where he will bless you again in the earth and will put someone in your life to demonstrate his love towards you. Get back to the you that you know God bless you to be. This is Dr. Anthony Revis, Faith Ministries Church, Midland, Michigan, USA. God bless.